Our 2025 recruiting rankings came out yesterday for the 2025 class for us here at On 3. And Charles Power and Cody Belaire, nobody watches more ball than them. I'm just telling you right now, they are as dialed in as it gets to the future of college football when it comes to high school recruits. And Charles Power has an article out right now on on3.com breaking down the top signal callers of 2025. Now, just so we're aligned here, what it looks like right now from a rankings point of view for these players is going to change before we get to National Signing Day. That's my assumption. Like, these guys are going to play their senior year. We'll get more data on them. We'll see them more places. This list is going to change a little bit from a rankings perspective. You'd have to believe it might not, but like, there's opportunity for it to change. How about that? Just so we're all on the same page. Bryce Underwood from the state of Michigan is both the number one quarterback and the number one player in the entire country. He's committed to LSU. He had a ridiculous year. 3,300 yards, 41 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. I think he averaged something crazy like 12 yards a pass. Bottom line, guy is a baller. He's the number one player in the country for a reason. On a macro level, this is further proof of LSU and their brand being white hot. Being white hot right now, because we've always known LSU to attract top defensive talent. You got the DBU label that's always following LSU, or at least they're in that conversation year in and year out. LSU now has a brand that can attract top offensive talent. I understand Joe Burrow predates Brian Kelly. It don't matter. I promise you, Bryce Underwood, he still saw that 2019 LSU team do numbers like Goodwill Hunting. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy last year playing quarterback. It doesn't hurt for the future of potential quarterbacks that are considering LSU, and Bryce Underwood currently committed to the Tigers. He is not the only top offensive playmaker that is committed to LSU. We'll leave it at that. George McIntyre is the number 2 quarterback in the entire country for us here at On 3. He is committed to the Tennessee Volunteers. He actually stopped by On 3 headquarters when he committed. Do a quick little sit down with our guy Josh Newberg. That interview is on the On 3 Recruits channel, so go check that out if you haven't. This, to me, Josh Heupel speaks quarterback. Yet again, he's landing another top quarterback in their respective recruiting class. This is just Josh Heupel doing Josh Heupel things. And we saw this kid play in person. I say we, like I went to go see him play. I believe it was against Brentwood, which was his crosstown rival. He's at Brentwood Academy just down the street from us here. This kid is smooth, man. I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm not a scout. But I watch a lot of football, and I know when someone moves really naturally, and that's George McIntyre. He also plays basketball. He gets buckets there. He can get up and throw it down. Big frame. I'm excited to watch him to continue to develop. Because as much as you see from him, like, he may not even be topped out yet with what he's going to be when he gets to Tennessee. So I'm excited for him, excited to watch what he does in the future, but he's number 2 quarterback for us in our player rankings at this point in time. Now, from Pennsylvania, Matt Zollers, number 3 quarterback for us. He's not committed, so commitment, possibly you, to quote Step Brothers. The top 4 for him are Penn State, Georgia, Missouri, and Pitt. There's the RPM currently trending towards Penn State. We love his size, 6'3.5", 200 pounds. Charles Power says he had the best individual playmaking skills that they've seen to this point in the cycle. Now, let's just kind of walk this thing through. Let's say that RPM pick ends up being where he goes. Let's say he does go to Penn State. If he goes to Penn State, man, that would be massive for that 25 class. They're currently at number 12 in the On 3 industry team recruiting rankings. And we all understand this now. You got to win on the recruiting trail to help your chances to win on the field. And if Penn State can land one of the top quarterbacks in this cycle, think who else that would attract. One, think how high Penn State would shoot into the rankings then. I don't pretend to know, but I think it would have to boost them, you'd believe, somewhere closer to that top 10, if not into the top 10. And you think there's probably other top pass catchers that are taking a second look at Penn State, top offensive linemen that are taking a second look at Penn State. Like, the ripple effect of landing a top quarterback would be massive. So the Zoller effect, wherever he goes, you have to believe that'll come into effect. But at Penn State, with as close as they've been the last couple of seasons, landing a guy like him, be big for the future. Julian Lewis out of the state of Georgia, number 4 quarterback for us. He is currently committed to USC. Now, Julian Lewis reclassified from 2026 to 2025. So he's going to graduate a year ahead of where we thought he was going to graduate this time a season ago. We love his consistent mechanics. And he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a guy that Charles Power talks about as playing really well within the structure of an offense, really consistent throwing the football. He's a distributor. To me, that sounds like a Lincoln Riley kind of quarterback that would thrive. Not to say Lincoln Riley hasn't had guys that do well ad-libbing in addition, but like I think Julian Lewis, wherever he ends up, he's committed to USC. He's got Bama after him, Georgia, Auburn, Colorado, all still in hot pursuit. But he's a dude that is going to, I think, potentially be a program changer wherever he lands at. Number 4 quarterback for us right now in 2025. 2 more to get to here. Tavien St Clair, committed to Ohio State. He's number 5 quarterback from us. He's from the state of Ohio. 6'3.5", 210. Charles Power says he's got a ready-made frame, good arm strength. 70% of his passes from last season were completed. To me, I mean, you can't overstate the importance of efficiency. And I'm always impressed by quarterbacks that commit to Ohio State out of high school, especially Tavien St Clair. The quarterback room he's looking at right now is absolutely stacked. Who knows what it's going to look like when he puts pen to paper, but like the competitive DNA you have to look at Ohio State and to say, you know what, I think I'm good enough to go play there. I trust my abilities to be the guy to win that job when it's my time to win the job. I love that. That tells me a lot about what Tavien St Clair has under the hood. Dude wants to compete. Top 5 quarterback for us right now in 2025. So I'm excited to see what he does for his senior season. Last one I want to get to here, Duce Knight, number 6 quarterback in the class right now, committed to Notre Dame, 6'4.5", 200 pounds. Now he's in the state of Mississippi, so Ole Miss, you have to imagine, still trying to make a push for him. Charles Power talks about his athletic ability being, if you were to stack it up against top wide receivers in this class, that's how athletic Duce Knight is. You can kind of comp him in that same category. Feels like for me, if Marcus Freeman's able to keep Duce Knight committed and get him to put pen to paper on National Signing Day, it'd be a statement kind of get for him. Because Marcus Freeman to this point now has gone to the portal and landed a Sam Hartman, landed a Riley Leonard. Also, there's been a fair amount of commitments that Marcus Freeman has gotten earlier in the cycle and then closer to signing day, the guys flip or they switch, whatever. To keep Duce Knight committed, to be your quarterback, to attract more talent to play with him, and then to land your quarterback of the future, I'd be excited for Notre Dame. I think that would be massive for Marcus Freeman and his era going forward here in South Bend. So a lot of top quarterbacks across the country that we are keeping an eye on, that we'll continue to monitor here over the course of this upcoming season and this spring as they all, take visits or what have you. So make sure you're locked in right here, the On3 Recruits channel as well. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.